All right, cool. I'm here with Joanne Scott Woods, my mom. She is a human rights activist and a family representative for the Remain Brisbane family. I'm also here with Carrie Manson, who is a human rights activist as well. She has a lot of experience in Milwaukee, working with unions, and also here in Phoenix, Arizona. I wanted to talk to you both today about the presidential campaigns and who you've supported. I believe we just determined you both supported Bernie Sanders.
Yep.
Okay. And so did you what inspired you about Bernie Sanders, and were you a Democrat prior to being inspired by Bernie?
Well, I wasn't. When I moved to Arizona, I became no party affiliated
Okay.
because being independent also has certain connotations about it of who you should vote for and things like that. And I want to vote for people based on what their policies are and what they believe, not a letter by their name.
All right. Yeah.
So I changed to Democrat to vote for Bernie because we had to here, or
Right.
we couldn't vote for him.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I promptly changed back to no party affiliation when he lost.
So why aren't you supporting Hillary?
She's a warmonger. She's corrupt. And I could really don't care about her emails. I care more about the policies that she's supporting. Her emails, we'll never know the truth.
Right.
That's just the beast of the government. We'll never know the truth on that.
Right.
I'm more worried about mass incarceration, supporting the state of Israel, all these other things that she is more than happy to do, and where her money comes from. You can always find out about a candidate based on where their money comes from. And that's one of the things I really liked about Bernie is he didn't accept all that shady money.
Right. Now, what do you say to the people who say that who are you supporting?
Jill Stein.
And what do you say to the people who tell you if you vote for Jill Stein that's a vote for Trump?
It's not a vote for Trump is a vote for Trump. I mean, if you don't vote, it's still not a vote for Trump. The only way you're voting for Trump is if you actually fill in that line by Trump's name. If you don't think there's anyone valid to vote for, by all means, don't vote for anyone then. I'm done voting for the lesser of 2 or 3 evils. I'm voting my conscience. I don't agree with these drone strikes that they all want to do. I don't agree with any of that stuff. These kids and innocent people should not be being killed because they can't figure out coordinates to where military bases are. They can. They don't care.
So you think Hillary would escalate military intervention?
Yes. Most definitely. She's a warmonger. The U.S. is notorious. That's why the U.S. is hated all over the world. They're notorious for sticking their nose in business that has nothing to do with them.
Now, Mom, you were a registered Democrat.
Yes.
And
I changed from independent to Democrat when Obama was running.
oh, okay. And you also supported Bernie.
Yes.
And so what did you do once Bernie endorsed Hillary?
I changed to Jill Stein, and I changed my affiliation to Green Party.
And what originally, because obviously this is in response to Hillary being the nominee, what is it that made you not want to support Hillary? Is there anything she ever said or did?
Oh my gosh. I got involved in activism because of the Central American children the 60,000 that were coming through. And the first thing out of her mouth was, send them back on a fast track. She wanted them immediately all sent back to their homes where they could be murdered, mutilated, raped. They cut off hands. They kill the kids, and so they're going back to death. And then she went in another town hall where she told that they were bad parents because they sent them to the United States. And if they were so responsible, they would have kept them at home. Well, they didn't have a choice. They were going to die if they were going to remain there with their parents. So their parents didn't have a choice, and she couldn't put herself in the place of those parents. She had no empathy. And from that June, that was in June of 2015, I think. 2015, and from that point on, I didn't like her. I couldn't believe that she was a parent that could say that about children's lives, that she could say that parents are irresponsible in trying to protect them.
Right.
Yeah.
So what is it about Jill Stein
I'm
that...
sorry, I'm really upset. That really upsets me.
What is it about Jill Stein that made you give her your support?
Well, actually, I looked at all the issues, and she was real clear on a couple that made a lot of sense to me. No more drone strikes, and then our interference with ISIS and the Palestine, Israel, supporting Israel.
Right.
So on, and she wants to withdraw our troops. We have 800 bases around the world. In other countries, only have 30 bases combined.
Wow.
And so we're really, to withdraw from overseas operations is really important to me.
Right.
Those two issues are tops in mind.
And what was it about Bernie that you both love so much?
He was charismatic. I think that had a lot to do with it, and he didn't accept money from those big corporations and banks and all those places that you have to exchange your soul for the money.
Right.
That's what I liked about him. Plus, I've been following him as a senator, and just the way he would flip out.
Right.
When they would say the most ridiculous things on the Senate floor, he'd be like, "Are you kidding me? What's wrong with you people?" And he would just, you could tell it was heartfelt.
Right.
It
you
wasn't
tell like
just
it is,
something he was just spewing off the top of his head. And he always has his facts in check. He knows his statistics. He's way better at that stuff than I could ever be.
Right.
He had a humble personality. He didn't say, well, donate to me even if you're flat broke and you won't eat tomorrow because you donated to me.
Right.
And that's the kind of sense you get from the Hillarys and even Obama and Trump. They don't care. They just want your money.
Now, what are your thoughts on him going? And now there's reports, it hasn't happened yet, but there's reports that he's actually going to go out and campaign in some of the swing states and states that he did better in for Hillary Clinton in the following weeks.
I don't think it's going to go anywhere because most of the people that like Bernie can't stand Hillary.
Yeah, I mean, do you feel like it might cause people to, almost a divide in the progressive movement because he is, basically endorsing everything that he's supposedly against, and that's what I've heard a lot of people say. I mean, do you feel
Well, I think that the people that are saying that already kind of feel that way.
Yeah.
I think people, as soon as he didn't win, picked their sides immediately.
Yeah.
They were either not going to vote, write him in, go to Jill Stein, or go to Hillary. Those
Right.
were the choices. So I think that happened immediately when he didn't win.
Now, I've noticed, the media keeps saying that, the vast majority of Bernie supporters are going to fall in line and support Hillary, but I have yet to meet anyone who's actually done that.
Me either.
I only know of two, and one of them's a congressional candidate, Talia Fuentes, and Dan O'Neill of PDA. Those are the only two people, and I'm talking hundreds of people that supported Bernie that are now supporting Jill Stein. Those are the only two. Do you think the polls are being manipulated? Why do you think the numbers? Because they keep saying she's at 4% or 5%, and that, to me, it seems crazy.
Yeah, and I've seen different polls that show a higher percentage, too, like
right.
30%.
Yeah.
Well, my thing is, who are they polling? Because I've never been asked. No one I know has
Yeah.
ever been asked. So
Yeah,
who the heck are
I've
they
never been
polling?
asked. Have you ever been polled?
I've never known.
I've never met anyone that's been
been
polled.
polled. So who are they polling? Just the people that have the opinions they want to hear?
Or
Yeah.
people that have telephones,
Yeah,
phones.
Right. So I know. Like my theory is they call people on landlines, and they just say, "Hey, we're calling. Here's your president. We want to know who you're voting for president. Here are your options." And they say Hillary Clinton. And they take a long pause. Donald Trump. They take a longer pause. Gary Johnson. Or Jill, and then they just hang up right as they say Jill.
something, because I've never known anyone who has done an exit poll after voting. I've never known anyone that's been polled for any of these things, and they keep coming out of with these percentages, and I wonder, are they just pulling them out of their behinds?
Right.
Or...
Do you think there's any media bias when it comes to Hillary?
Oh, yeah. The Clintons are very powerful.
I don't think they even said there was a debate on CNN.
Right.
They didn't cover that. If they did, it was on page 3 or something.
What? Oh, about the candidates?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anytime you can have a candidate that's husband was impeached for his sexual practices, that shows you where the media's mind is.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They covered that to the hilt every
Right.
day, all day
But
long.
not welfare reform, not mass incarceration, not NAFTA, not Glass-Steagall, right?
No, none of the things that matter. Not all the people that are sentenced for 60 years for having marijuana, while rapists are sentenced 3 years.
So do you think that it's even possible for Jill Stein to win? I mean, what's the?
I guess I believe in magic.
I mean, people
believe.
did say that Bernie had zero chance. I mean, that was a lot of people when he announced was like, "There's no chance."
Mm-hmm.
You know. So I mean, do you think is the goal of Jill Stein is it to build a movement and to start somewhere?
I think that's what it is, more
You
to
know?
build a movement, because
To have a third party.
America is not ready to reduce military spending.
Right. Well, we Americans are probably.
Yeah, but our government
Right.
is not having it.
Right.
And we have too many volatile people that believe anything the government says is true.
Right.
Until more people question the government and question the policies they're enacting and the things they're doing abroad, it's not even a question. People aren't going to say, oh yeah, let's reduce our military funding, because people think as soon as we reduce our military funding, some big bad boogeyman's going to come attack us and kill us all.
Right.
And they've been conditioned to think this. Nobody, even if we had 50% of what we have now, no one single country could compete with us.
Right.
No way, no how.
And that's actually the number that Jill Stein is suggesting, that we cut our military budget by half.
We could cut it by 75% and still have more than most places.
Right. I think we'd still be number one, because I think the next 21 countries combined are equal to ours.
Well, the only place that ever even was close to us was Russia back in its heyday.
Right.
With the Cold War.
And look at what happened to them when they spent all their money on the military.
They collapsed.
Yeah.
But we print our own money and don't have to have anything to back it here, so we don't mind.
Right. So, in closing, I mean, what would you like to let the people know about Jill Stein and why you're voting the way you are?
Well, I think it has to do with just her name recognition.
Right.
You know, the more you tell people about it, and they can tell other people about it. We've got to just pass the word along. I do that when I'm I'm in Chick-fil-A or if I'm in Fry's. You know, I mention in that because when you were running for getting signatures.
Right.
When we're going door to door, and there are people who were really angry, especially the Trump people.
Right.
They didn't want to hear that you were an independent.
Right.
You know, and there were a couple times people shut their doors, slammed in the front. They're really angry that we were liberal and we were ruining the country.
Right.
You know, and it's like they're so emotional about it. But if they know now that, and they see the divisiveness between Hillary and Trump, I think a lot of people are ready to vote for a third person.
Yeah.
You know, if they're aware of that third person.
A lot of Republicans are voting for Hillary, which is shocking.
Oh, that's right.
I've heard people say they will not vote for Trump, they will rather vote for Hillary, and that's something that's new to our political scheme, because you didn't have people who wanted Ronald Reagan to be president voting for Jimmy Carter.
Right.
It just didn't happen that way.
Yeah.
People, I think people don't pay attention. Like, you see all these pictures and stuff with the Clintons and the Trumps together, like, years ago.
Right. We had the weddings and whatnot, yeah.
For them to be that smooshy and close with one another, they can't be that different.
Right. All right. Well, thank you for joining Rising Phoenix Media on YouTube. Please subscribe for more information and news on politics, police brutality, and anything else the mainstream media does not want to cover. Thank you.